just be able to put that uniform on. I just remember growing up. My dad always telling me, talking about the front of the chest, name on the front of the chest, and be able to, for the last 2 years, be able to run on that court. It means something to me. And being a captain this year, I've taken it really personal. Something that I'm really holding in and trying to be my best at, and I'm just super happy that that shot went in.
So when through your mind when it did go in, did you happen to sneak a peek over at your dad? You see his reaction?
No, I didn't actually. I did not go look at him. He was tearing up though at the end of the game. But
wow.
Yeah, we'll when we go on our family trip, we'll talk about it for sure. And so I'm super excited about that. Just just to be with family. And so
I gotta ask you one more. I'm hogging it from them. But your dad tears up sometimes. I remember when they beat St. Peter's, I was sitting right behind him. He was tearing up before the game even ended. Because of what this program means. What does it mean for you, for your dad to tear up about something you did wearing this uniform?
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's kind of weird looking at this box score and seeing my name on here, even playing. Just a couple years ago, I thought I was going to quit basketball. I was battling injury. Just kind of fell out of love with the game. I tried to quit, and I'm thankful that my coach at Lynchburg didn't allow me to quit. My dad always told me to keep fighting, and when he gave me this opportunity, obviously it took some time to make the decision, but I'm super glad that I came here. Nothing beats putting on this jersey, nothing beats going out on this floor. I just love it here.
You gonna frame that?
You said what?
You gonna frame that?
I'm gonna take this home for sure.
Your mom will find a nice frame for it.
Yeah, I might put this out on my, might hang it up in my apartment.
There you go.
Caleb applauded your three-point celebration. Where did that come from?
Man, me and Double close. A couple times during the summer, we just went out to breakfast. We went to First Watch a couple times, went to Four Corners, just chatted it up. Just kind of got to know him. He's such a good dude. Just being around him every day, he's just laughter, fun. I just want to have fun. That's my thing. It's my last year playing basketball, so just being able to have fun, is super cool. So being with him, he's our guy, and I'm just super blessed to be his teammate.
How much have you thought about that moment? Because obviously, it's got to come up, right?
Yeah,
You're trying to get that points,
man. I was just on the phone with my best friends from Lynchburg, man. Just crazy. I was like, I just it was insane. I couldn't believe it. Super crazy moment. When it went in, I didn't know what to do. I don't know what celebration I did. I really don't know. But I was just super happy, just filled with joy. Again, just all the years of just working hard, not giving up. No matter what happens, just happen. For that shot to go in, just means everything.
Yeah. What'd your friends say when you got to talk to them?
Nah, they were just happy, man. They were just hyped.
Yeah. They didn't hit you with the LeBron line?
Nah, they did not. They did not. They did not. But I'm probably gonna call them back when I get back in there. But I'm just trying to enjoy the moment right now. Go on the Christmas break, spend some time with some family, get a little bit of work in, but not too much. Try to save my body, and then get ready for ACC play.
Saeed, you mentioned injury from the past. What was the injury that you were dealing with?
I tore my hamstring junior year. We were running sprints, and it just completely tore. My teammates actually, they were telling me to get up, and I was like, yo, I think something's actually wrong. And I had to get a PRP shot. My mom came up from Chapel Hill to Lynchburg, helped me through that. I was in immobilizer with my knee for a week, and I was out for 8 weeks, but I probably should have stayed out a little bit later than that. And so I can't believe going from that injury. That injury is nothing to play with, and so I'm just super happy. I'm here, I'm healthy. We got someone that that really cares about us, our health, and so I'm just happy that I'm here.
You said that you thought about stopping basketball. You said your coach at Lynchburg. I guess what was what ultimately convinced you to kind of keep it going? Did he say anything particular?
Nothing really particular. Just you're not quitting. It was really just that. I didn't talk to my parents. I made a decision. I was kind of done. I just wasn't in a good space, and I just went in my coach's locker, my coach's office. I was like, I'm done. I want to go home. And he told me no. He told me to stay with my brothers, and those guys, especially from that year, I'm still friends with. I still talk to all the time. Any chance I get, I go up to Lynchburg, I go see them. Those are my guys. They're having a pretty good start this season. I think they can do a little bit better, but I really think they're gonna win the ODAC this year. I really believe that. And so, I got full faith in them, but, just the fact that, I tried to quit and then hitting a shot in here and the crowd going crazy, like, it's insane. Like, it's just full circle, especially, who my dad is. Having that moment with him, is something, that's I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life.
That injury, was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Did you see your dad crack a smile after you hit that? Were you able to
No,
glance over at him?
I blacked out. I blacked out. I was, it was just everything, kind of like a flashback of everything that, from all the years and everything. I vividly remember my last shot that I hit at Lynchburg. And I was like, that can't be my last career, point. That can't be it. So I've been thinking about it, and so I'm glad I got that one. So at least I can say, hey, I scored in this jersey. It's good. I'm happy. I'm really happy that Yvonne got a bucket. I'm really happy about him.
After that.
I'm super happy, man. He's such a good dude, man. Like, we just got a bunch of really good guys, and we mesh well. Our personalities match, and I think y'all can see, man. We're 12-1 right now. I think we could be 13-0. I don't think there's any reason that we can't run the table in the ACC and win every game.
Did your dad tell you anything after in the locker room in there?
Yeah, he just kind of told me I'm super proud of you and just shared the hug. So we'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll talk about tomorrow at dinner when we get to where we're going to. And so super excited to, just have that conversation with my family. I saw my little brothers. Apparently my little brother took his shirt off and started hurling it around. So super, that was funny. And so he's probably going to be the one that's going to be most funny about it, because I'm probably going to go home tonight, probably sleep in my childhood bed, so be good.
What did it feel like being swamped by all your teammates after the game finished up?
Man, it's just, those are my guys. Just to be on the team, it doesn't matter who you are. We just care about we just care about winning, man, and just celebrate everyone's success. The way I celebrate everyone's success is the way everyone celebrated me tonight, and so I'm just super excited, super blessed that I'm on a team that just celebrates each other.
Elijah, what was the best thing somebody said to you in the locker room after that?
Oh man, there's so much water getting thrown that I couldn't. Dub, he said, I'm so happy. Like, he just kept saying he's so happy. John, that's my guy. We was together last year, and we went through it together as first year as walk-ons. And, it was difficult. We got our butts kicked a lot last year, and we weren't winning, so it was like a double whammy. And so just this year, being able to be with him, share that moment with him especially, was super special.
Did you know the shot was good when you let it out?
I didn't want to. I didn't know, because I thought, I'm telling you, East Tennessee State, I thought it was so good. Like, as soon as it left my hands, it felt so good. I really thought that was going to be the one. But tonight was the one. God's plan. I'm just super blessed to be in this position.
What's the first thing that you either thought, saw, heard when it went through?
The crowd. The crowd. No, the crowd. The crowd went crazy, and then I kind of blacked out, so I don't really remember. I'm going to look back and see what I did. I really hope I didn't do anything too crazy. I hope the pictures come out cool, because, I can frame them, give it to my mom, so that'll be a good Christmas gift, so for sure.
Your dad, when does he transition from dad to coach, like when you're going from home to here?
When we leave here?
Yeah.
In here, it's straight business. I've talked about that since I got in here. This is a business. It doesn't matter, who I am. This is my job and responsibility to be here and be the best, And this year it's been to be a really good captain. And, we kind of talked about it. Our dynamic, Seth, he's Batman. Henry's Robin, and then I'm Alfred. I think that's the guy, right? That's right.
Yeah,
Alfred.
Butler.
Butler. So I kind of do all the dirty work and everything. So Seth and Henry can go out and hoop. And so that's my job. And I'm super happy and blessed to be a part of it.
How meaningful was it to be named captain?
It was super crazy. I was a captain in my junior year at Lynchburg, and so for him to put that trust in me, especially with this team, it's a pivotal. Everyone knows it was a pivotal year for him, and for him to put that trust in me with this team, to be one of the captains, I'm super blessed about it.
Was it a team vote, or did he?
He kind of signed it with Henry. He kind of just throughout the summer, just saw what it was, and so that's his decision.
What's been your captain moment this year where you had to step up and have one of those?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a special moment. It's just throughout, just encouraging. In this industry, you can always find someone to hate on you, and there's a lot of people, that say whatever about our team, and my job is to encourage and to show them who they really are, and we got a really good team, and a lot of the people haven't showed what they can actually do. Zayden is unbelievable. Isaiah's been absolutely killing it in practice. Jay Young, you feel like can't miss JP. JP's one of the best shooters, if not the best shooter in the country. Seth, Seth's just Seth. That's a freak of nature. And then, I can go down the line. Jaren, I'm telling you, I think shoots like 50% from three in practice. He's a sniper. And so, just being an encouragement, being an encourager to this team, to this program.
If you don't mind me asking, so I covered the team too last year with the News and Observer, and I remember there's a game at Wake Forest, really tough, and I remember just you in the hallway, I think without your mom or your dad, you're really emotional.
Yeah.
Just with this season so far, and how it's going, what has that meant to you, especially after how last season went?
Man, last year was tough. I've never been on a team that won, really, and so that's something that I expected when I came here, and it didn't happen. We just couldn't get it going last year, and I just remember that Wake game. That kind of was like one of my breaking points. I was just super upset, super disappointed because I knew what we had. As you can see, those guys now are really hooping at their other schools. Shout out K. Tyson. Hopefully he sees this. I'm just that was a not so fun moment. So I'm just super blessed to be on a team. We're 12-1. I've never been 12-1 before. To play for this team, play for this university and for these fans, it's just the best thing ever.
Obviously a lot of games to play and a lot that I'm sure you guys want to improve on and clean up. I feel like the ceiling's really high for this team. But so far, what would you say has maybe been the biggest difference from last year's squad to this year's squad?
I just think we've been able to finish games. Last year I think we put ourselves in a position to really win, and we just didn't finish it out. We had the talent, we had everything, just didn't finish it out. And so this year we've been able to squeak out some wins. Seth's falling pass to Henry, Kentucky, Derek, just being Derek. I think there's a couple other games, but just be able to squeak out some wins. That's just been the difference, honing in on the details and, just getting it done.
You're captain. I feel like you're a big kind of energy guy, glue guy.
Yeah.
What is it about this team, this group of guys, that's allowed them to gel so quickly? Because we were hearing from Seth and folks like that in the preseason, they felt like this team gelled like a week or two.
It did. Yeah, we just I think it just started in the first week when everyone came here. Just started hanging out with each other, started kicking it. I think the difference really, that Outer Banks trip was the most fun I've ever had with a team ever. But we were all in the house. We were just joking, messing around. It was so much fun. We talk about to this day just that night, the first night especially, just being around each other, and we're super competitive too, and so we got the best out of each other, but we respect each other, and that's just super important, and I think that's just been the difference this year.
Elijah, obviously you have a unique perspective. What did you see from the Michigan State game to moving on from that point that really got this team beyond that to learn from it?
Yeah, it's just sometimes you gotta get knocked down to really understand what you gotta do. We shouldn't have lost that game, especially in the manner that we did. Film was not very fun, but I think everything we can go throughout the entire non-conference season. We saw everything, and so now going into conference to a much improved ACC, Got started off at Florida State. God beat them. God set the tone. We gotta. We've seen everything, and so just trying to just build on that.
What do you remember about that film session? What stood out? Any moment in particular?
Not any moment in particular. Just we knew kind of it's different when you actually see it rather than when you're in the game. Because in the game we thought hey, we just let it get away from us, and then when you watch the film, you're like, dang, we really should have won that game, and we know that we're better. Obviously, we didn't have Seth, but that doesn't matter. Obviously, Seth is, if not one of the most important players on our team. It's always next man up, no matter what. And so I'm just I'm glad that we went through that, and so we can next time we won't let that happen again.
Were there a lot of heebie-jeebies in that one or the film session?
Yeah, you can say that. He's staying away from bejeebies this year.
Not in the pressers, man.
Oh, he is. He's been saying fart a lot. He says fart like 20 times. Yeah, he says what the fart a lot. So, I haven't heard bejeebies a lot. Maybe I'll hear that when we're on vacation for the next couple of days.
Yeah.